In the 1960s, a high schooler believes her dreams of becoming a singer will come true when a famous pop star gets stranded in her small town. However, things take a turn for the worst when a chemical leak causes disturbing changes to the townspeople. In January 1963, producer Jack Avery calls numerous phone numbers to find his client Bobby Shore, but an alarm blasting outside constantly disrupts his workday. In Lonely Arms, Canada, aspiring singer Stephany Holiday, or Stepphy, performs in the school auditorium. However, she is laughed at by the few people watching her, except her friend Bennett, who records her performance. Dejected, Stepphy leaves, and Bennett hands her a bust of singer Bobby Shore to cheer her up. He then tries to ask Stepphy out to the school ball, but she politely declines, claiming she won't be able to come because she believes she'll make it to the American Anjanu talent competition. Later, Stepphy drives to the post office to mail her audition tape when she runs into Fabian, an employee at the Purple Mist chemical plant. He brings up his plan of touring her around the facility, but Stepphy refuses, citing she has to get home immediately to take care of her dad. Afterwards, Stepphy arrives at her house and attends to her drunk father, George. In February 1963, Stepphy is fixing up a vehicle at their family's service station when she stops to watch the TV musical starring her idol, pop star Bobby Shore. However, she is interrupted when Mr. Baxter arrives to give Stepphy her mail. After reading it, Stepphy learns that she has been accepted into the first round of the competition and must fly to Manhattan to record her first song. The message emphasizes that she must represent the letter to make her eligible to compete. Later, Stepphy shows George the document, who seems mildly hurt that she never told him about her application. Her father then sends her to Gord to get his medicine, and the teen learns that the latter tried to become a hand model in New York City years ago but failed. When Stepphy returns home, she is horrified that George threw her acceptance letter into the fireplace, claiming that the music industry isn't meant for her. Soon, a depressed Stepphy attends her high school ball, where she drinks in the restroom. She runs into Eleanor's clique, who mocks her that she'll never be able to leave town because of her ill father. Upset, Stepphy storms off and tries to get Bennett to accompany her. Unfortunately, he can't leave because he has a date, so Stepphy steps outside to continue drinking. Soon, Fabian finds the intoxicated Stepphy and lets her inside his car. The teen reveals that George used to be in a band but got kicked out when she was born, and then her mom abandoned them. Stepphy then admits that she got accepted into the American Anjanu talent competition, and Fabian is relieved to hear that she can't go, before revealing his true feelings for her. Taking advantage of her drunken state, he parks just outside the chemical plant and forces himself on her. Meanwhile, a purple mist escapes from the plant, sounding the alarm. The sound jolts Stepphy, and she immediately gets out of the car and runs into the forest, where she expresses her desire to go to New York to fulfill her dream. While walking home, a suspicious German man named Helmut drives to Stepphy and starts a conversation. Creeped out by his strange remarks, she tries to get away when she hears Bobby Shore's voice from the passenger seat. When the man asks her if she knows a nearby service station to fix their car, she decides to take them to her house, revealing that her family owns one. In the back seat, Stepphy learns that the two were trying to get to Kansas, but somehow ended up in Canada. Soon, the three get to her service station, where the teen tells them that their carburetor is busted, and that it'll take weeks for a new part to arrive. She suggests they stay in their house for the night, which Bobby accepts, much to Helmut's dismay. Stepphy then runs into the house to inform George, who agrees to let the men stay. The next morning, a giddy Stepphy approaches Bobby to get him to listen to her sing, but he asks her not to reveal his identity while he's staying in town. The pop star then asks her to sew the torn arm sleeve of his suit jacket while he explores the forest behind the house. Afterward, inside her bedroom, Stepphy muses about her hopes of Bobby falling for her after he hears her sing. Later, as the high schooler sets the table, Bobby asks for a kiss when he sees she used pink thread on his suit jacket, but the former refuses. Because she refused the smooch, he brands her a square, citing that she's too sheltered. George then appears with the food and mistakes Bobby for Jimmy Rogers, a famous country singer he idolizes. However, the pop star brushes it off and calls his companion to the table. The older man then presents a roast beaver for their dinner, which intrigues Bobby but disgusts Helmut. While eating, the singer suggests they take Stepphy with them to Hollywood, shocking her intoxicated father. George attempts to make a toast but staggers, so his daughter takes him upstairs to sleep. Outside, the purple mist from the chemical plant is slowly creeping around the house. Later, the teen goes back downstairs, where she suddenly sees Fabian. He quickly informs her that the leak from the chemical plant can cause human mutations and asks if she's seen anything strange lately. But a furious Stepphy demands he stay away from her. Hurt, Fabian leaves, promising he won't help her if something happens. The high schooler then makes her way to the kitchen, where she finds the singer washing the dishes and pulls him in for a kiss. After bidding Bobby goodnight, she quickly rushes back to her room to relish the moment. Seconds later, she feels something in her stomach, and when she checks herself in the mirror, she's horrified to see that a lump has grown. The following day, Stepphy takes Bobby out by the river and teaches him how to shoot down birds. After the pop star manages to shoot one down, the teen goes to get it, and she's mortified when she sees the bird with with a donkey head. They then go to town, where the singer marvels at how beautiful the place is. The girl remarks that he's just like her father, who wishes that the Americans could see the beauty of Lonely Arms and build a casino in town. She disagrees with their views, citing that she can't wait to leave town and become a famous singer. Bobby then realizes that he could build a house in Lonely Arms, believing it'll inspire him to write more songs, when they suddenly run into Mr. Baxter, who now has an unusually large, veiny growth on his neck. The singer is horrified by the man's appearance, but the teen is still reeling from Bobby's plan to start a life in her town. Later, the pair watch a show when the manager spots the pop star and invites him to sing on stage. Unable to resist, he accepts the offer and invites his date to sing with him. After they perform Bobby's song Bang Bang Baby, the pair share a passionate kiss. They then head home and make out by the front door, and Stepphy feels Bobby about to touch her stomach. She immediately stops him and rushes inside, where she hears George screaming in pain. The daughter runs to her father and sees that a bottle has somehow fused with his stomach. Refusing to acknowledge that the fumes from the plant are causing these changes, she brushes it off and gives George a drink to calm him down. However, the older man is upset that his daughter plans to leave him for Hollywood. Moments later, Bobby enters the house and the inebriated father threatens to shoot him for taking his daughter away from him. To ease the older man's worries, the singer suggests funding George's casino plan, claiming it can bring money into the lonely town. Later at the porch, George appears with his guitar and starts singing about how his girlfriend abandoned him with a newborn, Stepphy, but that he's happy he has someone to come home to. Bobby then sings about how he found love with the high schooler, causing an upset Helmut to storm off. After George returns inside to sleep, the pop star points out a US satellite in the night sky and surprises Stepphy with a kiss. However, she gets slightly agitated when she remembers Fabian forcing himself on her. The singer then says that he'll take her to Europe on his tour and admits he won't be able to help George with his casino because he doesn't like his appearance and gloomy personality. Hurt, Stepphy walks off into the forest where she runs into Fabian. The latter informs her that the leak has made everyone sick and mutated, causing a town-wide quarantine. The teen refuses to believe him, but two men in hazmat suits appear and restrain her. The man shows Stepphy his neck that's grown another set of lips to convince her. He then asks her to marry him, claiming no one else will love freaks like them. She rejects his proposal and tries to run, but Fabian accidentally rips her skirt, exposing the moving lump in her stomach. The man moves to hold her, but the teen bites his hand and flees. Later, Bobby finds her by the river and apologizes, promising to build the house and casino if Stepphy marries him. The high schooler immediately accepts and jumps into his arms. On her wedding day, Stepphy looks over at her backyard and sees the guest with various body mutations. She then feels her lump moving, so she tries to hide it by placing a big bow over her belly. George then arrives and walks his daughter down the aisle. She then notices that the priest has an enlarged nose that he tries to hide behind the Bible. Afterward, the couple kiss and are officially married. Later, Bobby takes Stepphy to her room to consummate their marriage. She attempts to stall because she's afraid her husband will find her lump. However, he is persistent and she slaps him when she remembers the time Fabian forced himself on her. Believing his wife hit him because she wants him to be unattractive, Bobby calls Helmut for help. As the two men escape, the teen chases after them, but in her hurry, the Bobby bust falls and breaks. Fabian tries to help Stepphy up, but she pushes him away and continues running after her husband. When she reaches the town exit, men in hazmat suits stop her. Fabian then arrives and leads Stepphy to his car. As the men drive the teen home, he tells her to get it together for the sake of their child. She then realizes the moving lump inside her is their unborn baby, and ruefully decides to marry Fabian. Soon, a heavily pregnant Stepphy wakes up to find two men in hazmat suits inspecting the sleeping George. Before leaving, the men give her 2 bottles for them to ingest should they choose to end their lives. Later, the teen visits Gord to get more medicine for her father, when the man informs her that he and a group of people will off themselves later, and invites her to join. However, Stepphy is unsure and says she'll think about it. As she's driving home, she hears the winner of the American Anjanu talent competition perform Bang Bang Baby with Bobby on the radio, and sadly remembers the time they sang it together. At dinner, Fabian gives their family a toast, but the teen storms off. She then goes to the gas station and mournfully sings about how she used to be so hopeful for the future. Suddenly, she starts feeling contractions. Later at home, Stepphy gives birth to a talking infant, screaming for her, which causes the mother to faint. Elsewhere, Gord and other townsfolk head to the forest to off themselves by drinking the poison. At home, Stepphy listens to her baby calling for her and grabs the lethal drink by her bedside. She then goes to her child and angrily asks what she is, but the latter doesn't know and begs her not to leave her alone. Remembering her father's words, Stepphy smiles and the mist outside dissipates. Her child then transforms into a normal infant and she carries her in her arms when she spots a suitcase. The teen decides they'll leave and starts packing when Fabian enters the room. He spots the poisonous drink and grows furious, believing Stepphy planned to kill their daughter and leave leave him because she only cares about Bobby. Fabian then slaps her, causing her to fall to the floor. When he's about to let their baby drink the poison, his wife bludgeons him. Stepphy then tells Fabian that he's not a good man, and he slowly dies as he accidentally drinks the spilled fluid on the floor. She then grabs her daughter and goes downstairs, where she finds George watching Bobby on TV. She tries to get her father to go with her, but he declines and embraces his daughter one last time. George encourages Stepphy to leave so she can make her dreams come true. She then tearfully bids him goodnight as George goes upstairs to drink the poison. 5 years later, Stepphy auditions in front of Jack Avery. She then walks to the park to meet her friends and grabs her daughter who's playing in the snow.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.